feeling like that. Okay? But Esau liked that rush, that adrenaline rush, being all out in the woods and with nature and running around and jumping on animals and all that and crocodile wrestling and no. Jacob wasn't operating like that. Okay? So here is the attributes of Jacob and Esau. Now listen, I'm not being facetious, I'm not being funny, I'm just telling you like it is, because you have some people out there all over the earth that's trying to overt the prophecies or trying to say that what we're teaching is not correct. And by default, people have actually taken their vision or eyes off of the people who are really being attacked in this earth. We have to bring this around full circle, and we're going to use history to do it. Let's go into, and we're going to use the Bible. I hope you Christians out there, because you can give this to your Christian pastor. Let's get the one in Hebrews. Finish reading. Finish reading, because there's something I want to bring out of Genesis first.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 28.
Go ahead.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
Isaac loved Esau because Esau is the one that brought the meat home. He brought the food home. Read.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
Why did Rebekah love Jacob, the mother? Because she was told before the children was born which child would be the one to protect, which child would actually be the chosen and heir of the promises. Read.
Verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Go ahead.
And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
And it says that red pottage because there was blood and uncooked meat in the pottage. That's what made it red, blood. So he said, feed me with that same red pottage. That's rare meat. Now we know according to the law, according to the Bible, it's against the law to eat meat with blood in it. You must cook the blood out of it because the blood holds the soul. The blood holds the soul. The blood is the soul of man. So you must cook the blood out. But if you are in what you would call a hunter or a warrior's mentality, you eat the blood to take the spirit of the animal you kill. Or eat like carnivores, like cannibalism, so you can it's like give you some type of strength and power that you're eating blood and taking the spirit of creation. Jacob wasn't going out like that. Esau was eating the rare meat. Now listen, that ain't none of my business. If you got some meat you paid for, you can eat it any way you want. I'm not judging that. What I'm saying is, according to the law, you're supposed to cook it well. Okay? And Esau said, feed me with that red pottage. Listen, I want that thing with blood in it. Read.
For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
His name was called Edom. Edom means red. Now let me show you some of the deceptions of the Masoretes, which are the Jewish powers and the Jewish scribes who wanted to deceive the people into believing that they were Jacob instead of Esau. When you look at the Hebrew word Edom, it's Adawam. That's 4 Hebrew letters. When they got our records, they inscribed Edom or Idawam for Ruddy, for David and other people in the scripture, so that you can believe that Esau was Jacob. But we can see right here in Genesis 25 that Jacob and Edom are 2 separate nations. Also, Idawam sounds close in Hebrew to Adam, which is Adam. But Adam have 3 Hebrew letters, and Adawam have 4 Hebrew letters. But they know the average layman is not going to pick that up. So they made people believe that Adam was Edom or a red man by taking out 1 letter in certain places or adding 1 letter in certain places when it came to Adam's name in certain places in the Bible. Total deception. That's why it's important to know that Hebrew. How can Adam be Edom when Edom came down the line and was born out of Jacob? Impossible. See, and that's how we can break down the deception of the Masoretes, who would try to use ruddy as an excuse to say, well, listen, it say David was ruddy, so he must have been red. Ruddy leads to Edom. But how can Edom be Jacob? Impossible. I just wanted to inject that for those who run into those guys who would like to say, look at this ruddy, red. Jacob was not red. Jacob was not ruddy. Esau was. All right? So that's how you break that down. And the Bibles tell you that them using the pen, the scribes will use their pen in vain. That's Ezekiel. Jeremiah 8 and 8. Thank you. Read.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 31.
Go ahead.
And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
So Jacob said, listen, sell me your birthright. You want to eat? You want to live? Give me your birthright. So he was supplanting Esau. And of course, Esau had a choice here. He could have said, well, you know what? Nah. I value the birthright that I came out first. The birthright I fought. I fought you in the womb for. What did Esau say?
Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die.
He said, I'm about to die anyway. No faith. Read.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
What profit will this birthright do to me? So he had no faith in the Most High. Read.
And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
And he sold his birthright to Jacob. Read.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink.
So Jacob actually accomplished his part of the agreement. So what did Jacob do wrong? He gave Esau exactly what Esau asked for. So how can Esau come back later and say, well, I was tricked? And see, and that's what the churches are teaching. They try to make you think Jacob was the bad one. Jacob was the evil one. Now, let's go into Hebrews real quick. Hold Genesis and go into Hebrews. Read.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15.
Go ahead.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of the Most High.
Looking diligently, so that none of us can fall from the grace of the Most High. We must keep our eyes on the prize. Read.
Lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you.
So this is what can turn us away from the Most High. If bitterness sprang up in us. So Esau, something happened to Esau that turned him all the way to Satan. What happens first? A bitter spirit comes up when you started feeling a certain type of way about another person. That bitterness spring in, and that's when Satan come and say, okay, I'll take care of you. No one understand you, but I'll be here for you. It's that bitterness. Read.
And thereby many be defiled.
And that's how people are defiled, by becoming bitter. Read.
Verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
And that's why it says he hated Esau. Because Esau was a fornicator, and Esau also. Read it.
Or profane person as Esau.
And he was profane, and he teaches that. They push pornography. They push all types of wicked, evil acts and say it's okay. They push homosexuality and say that it's okay, it's the right. They push fornication and say it's all right. Because bitterness sprang up in them. Now, instead of them following the law, they're going to be the adversary of the law in the earth. Read.
Who for one morsel of meat.
And for one morsel of meat he did what?
Sold his birthright.
Sold his birthright for a piece of meat. That's the New Testament there. Why? Because he became bitter. When he realized what his brother received, he got very, very, very upset. And it led on a course that would fight his own brother. And he put that course within his children. and had his children continue